Hey, what's up? Hades here. Today we're talking about Ivy League bets because each week we keep losing and it's time to learn how to do this the right way. There was two very close matches. It was the HMB versus Fury match and the AOSK versus GSI. This video is going to be more focused on the Fury match. The next video will be more focused on the GSI match. These two matches were very close. Bets should have been hedged. I sadly went all in on GSI and they lost, so I lost all three bets, and I split my bets on HMB Fury as I knew this would be close and I knew this would be close. So it was hard to win bets this week, but let's look at the details of why this happened. Okay, before each match, it's very valuable to come into this diagram, go to the teams, go over to the right side of the bracket and do a little analysis. So we're looking at the HMB squad. You can click on them and click records, and you can see HMB played Lions, they got 46,000, and we can see Fury played Reds and got 60,000. So Fury actually performed slightly better than Lions, and you can take it a step further. You can look into their details. And you see Fury and Reds. And of course, 57's an old server for Snow and Zek, people who are no longer here, but they still play here, and they're high-level players, and they really helped carry this match. But the fact that they're here means they can be in the next match against HMB, and you have to look at Fury's record. The most important one is against Reds. How do they perform against high-level competition? We have Mark, Kurt, Alawi, and a few others who have, and Basic, Foxy, Cardi, who perform very high, at a very high level. So it's pretty balanced at the top. You have to go, well, what about the middle? What does 10 through 15 look like? 800 to 600. You go back over to Fury, you look at records, and you look at report. 10 to 15, 600, 500. So the core seems to be slightly stronger for Fury. But then you have to go down to the very bottom. Can you get 30 out of 30? Each player matters. And then you look at HMB, and you look at this report, and they didn't get enough players. So let's dive into the match because you're going to get the most information from actually looking at the match. Obviously, being down 8 players is a significant disadvantage, and is probably the biggest reason why it was a loss for HMB. Now, red side is Fury. They end up splitting top and bottom, but they overcommit top. This is really bad, but they're allowed to do this because they have extra players, right? If we fast forward, we'll see that the players increase to 28 to 20. We can see them down here in the bottom right and the bottom left. And then it's 21 to 30. And by the end of the match, it stays 21 to 30. So HMB just doesn't have a very big show out. They win the bottom. They have a high pressure in the middle. And it's just tough. They have a better spawns here. They obviously are holding their home, and they're looking to fight for middle. I'm going to go 4x. I'm not going to go super detailed into this match as it is so lopsided. This video is more specific on looking at bets and how to analyze to get the best results. We knew that HMB wasn't quite getting their 30. They're very focused on KVK. They also aren't very active at the 12 UTC slot. All the other slots were 15, and the later they go back, the less players they're going to get. And you can see it shows 21 out of 30 is definitely not a great showing, which makes it very easy because even if Fury gets out-rotated or outplayed, they always have an extra 9 people on the map making something happen. So props to HMB for making this kind of close, even at a disadvantage. But still, it's tough. We can see here, going back into kind of what's happening, 3 people stuck in base for Fury, 4 stuck in base for HMB. The middle is now pretty much all Fury. They're going to snag it at about the 43-minute mark, which means they were stalled for about 7 minutes taking it. HMB has stolen home with a really nice backdoor. And this is this is going to be a very slow retake from the Fury team. And probably a little bit of an overcommittal. They still don't have it back. HMB is really making this a close match. It's 20 to 22k. And I would say the individual players from HMB really outplayed a lot of the Fury players. I personally have both these teams in around the B tier. They're definitely not at the top, but they're definitely teams that will beat most uncoordinated teams. These teams are very solid. They have good players. They have some of the top 50, top 100 players, and they really have a good understanding of the game. They still own this tower, only having 4 here. Now Fury's with numbers. These are all the extra players that don't matter. This would be an overcommit in a normal match, but this is okay for this match because they already own the middle. They pretty much own top. This was a TP here. There's a bit of a scramble to try and take this, but 1, 2, 3 HMB players is not going to be quite enough. They're also being pressured at their home now, 4 to 4. They own bottom pretty decisively, but you're going to see, and I'm going to skip forward just a little bit, they start to lose this position because once the top is taken, there's going to be a bit of a rotation here. The middle's free for whenever. They're making a bit of a play, but it gets stuffed. They lost this play. This play can never last too long because it's right next to their home base. So anyone who dies can reinforce this very easily. And now this is when the lack of players really starts to change. You can see it's only a 1 to 2k advantage from a very strong play from HMB early on. But here's where it kind of gets pushed to the brink. They're going to lose this 4th tower here in just a moment. Fury is going to retake this tower pretty soon. And then it's going to be a 4 to 1 disadvantage. And then the game's kind of just going to be collapsed for HMB. And there's not really a recovering position from there. You can see Fury is really starting to get into the front lines here. There's a few low players, but they're really just taking free hits. As soon as Dre's gone, this is pretty much free to take. Yep, and here's the all-in. You can kind of see it there. HMB still owning this one. Pretty impressive. There's only 3 players here. They really did a lot of work. This guy is a very good player. I'll be making a tier list of some of my top players in IB, and he will definitely be on that list. HMB with a pretty big push here in the middle, but they're just not quite coordinated enough. I don't believe they have a support here to speed this along, and Fury's going to get reinforcements from everywhere because this is now a winning position. They can rotate. These players can probably rotate, and anyone here can probably rotate, but yeah, let's skip forward just a little bit. You can see this tower is now Fury, and they own it. 4 to 1. It's 45 to 10 per second. The gap is really going to start growing, and there's only 20 minutes, and middle really isn't available. There's only 1 player blocking. They pretty much have neutral or advantage here, and they're really starting to be... They're only defending with 2 on the sides here. Both are damaged. They have to get their home back and the middle within the next 2 or 3 minutes, or this game really just kind of ends on points. And they just don't have the pressure. I'm going to skip through a little bit. But yeah, they never get there. Top's held for almost the entire time until they're finally pushed back at about this moment. And then at the final end, there's a bit of a play for the home tower. But yeah, 10 minutes left, down 30,000. It's just not possible. Fury has now won the middle. There's no pressure here, no pressure here, and everyone's relocating to this tower, and the game is pretty much just over. So yeah, we need to be more careful hedging bets. I keep seeing, even myself included sometimes, not hedging bets going for a split. I should have split the GSI and AOSK match, but I didn't, and that's just the way things roll. Make sure you are talking it within your alliances and doing research to find the best way to get good bets. If you guys like this kind of video or want me to do more in the future, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.